Well, there's a local man who is somewhat, some might call a baseball fanatic, but it's for a good reason.
Cody and his caravan are hanging out in Placerville this morning, where one piece of property looks very similar to a historic ballpark. Cody, are you bored yet? I mean, you're just having the best time out there.
No. I have the best day ever. This is so good. Matter of fact, I'd like to tell my bosses that they don't have to pay me today because I've had...
Don't say that.
Forget that.
Don't say that.
Never mind. But Littlefoot West in Placerville. This is Zak Ford, and this is why we're here. Zak wrote this incredible book called Called Up. It's all about being a Major League Baseball player and the stories about how they got there. So we just had some rain. Is there any rain delay, rain stories?
Yeah, there's actually one that we were thinking of. Scott Spiezio, who's actually probably responsible for my most depressing moment as a baseball fan, since he's a 2002 Angels World Series hero against my Giants. But he was called up to the Oakland A's in 1996. And he gets back to the hotel at the end of the playoff game, and he sees his phone ringing and picks it up, and somebody on the other end says, "Hey, this is Jonesy. You have to go to the airport." And he thought it was some of his teammates messing around with him. It's like, "No, this is Jonesy, your manager. You got to get to the airport." So he gets to the airport, goes to Cleveland for his Major League debut, and it's raining in Cleveland.
Oh.
And not only that, but baseball players, and Scott Spiezio especially, a little superstitious.
Oh, yeah.
And he walks in the clubhouse, he notices he has a number 13. So he's like, I'm not too crazy about that. But ultimately, the game ended up being rained out.
Oh, so you get called up.
Rained out. He was able to change the number for the next day. He got into a game the next day. And one of the funny things, too, about Scott Spiezio's story is he did get a hit in that game. And he gets back to the dugout, and it's his first Major League hit, or so he thinks. And it has chicken scratch, names misspelled as far as, who he hit it off of, his name's misspelled. And they actually have him go out and play third base for at least an inning or two before they come clean and say, "Hey, that's not really the ball. We're going to give you we're going to clean it up for you."
Boys will be boys, man. Boys will be boys. Is there a story in there? We got about a minute left. Give me a 1 minute, one of your favorite stories in there.
Well, Jaw Leach coming up with the Giants in 2001. He had spent 12 years in the big leagues. He goes back for the last game in Fresno. All the September call-ups have happened, but after the game, manager calls him in the office and says, "Hey, man, you missed a sign today." He's like, "This is the last game of the season. You got to be kidding me. You're going to call me in for that?" But it was to, give him a hard time before giving him the news that he got to the Major Leagues.
That's awesome.
He got to the Major Leagues. He got a real number, not one of those high numbers a lot of rookies get, but he said that he showed up early, put on his uniform, and was looking at himself in the mirror like little kids do before Little League. And he said Dusty Baker walked in, kind of looked at him, laughed, and said, "I knew you were going to be ready your first day in the big leagues."
That is awesome. I'm telling you, if you have a baseball fan in your life, buy the book. It's so good. It's so good. There's a million stories in there. It's called Called Up, and it's available everywhere?
Everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Just Google search Called Up, Zak Ford. Even if you spell Zach wrong, it's still going to come up. But calledupproject.com, I have a bunch of different ordering options there.
All right, more from Littlefoot West coming up. Back to you guys.
I love this. And I love this for you today, Cody. This is like the best Friday that you could ever possibly have. It's perfect.
It's so fun.
I know it's like therapeutic, just talking and throwing. Talking and throwing. I love it.